Welcome to my Oracle and Tarot deck review. Today we are starting things off with my first ever deck, The Oracles of Shadow and Light by Lucy Cavendish and Jasmine Beckett Griffith. This deck I've had for over 10 years now, and it has still been a staple and a favorite. So let's get into some of the things I really love about this deck, because there is very few things that I don't like about it. So one of the first compliments I have about this deck that I don't see in some of the later decks done by this pair and done by what I would assume is the same company, or at least the same distribution center, is that there's actually a separate cutout for your cards to stay still in the deck. Later, this cutout in the box is not there, so the cards just kind of rattle around, but it's here. The cards sit very comfortably in the box, which has kept my cards looking very new, very nice, and very pristine, despite the fact that this has been my main deck, like I said, for over 10 years now. Could y'all fight later? Cats. It has kept the cards in wonderful condition. Speaking of the cards staying in wonderful condition, as you can see, they're still very glossy, and the art has held up amazingly over the years. I am not easy on my cards. I shuffle very rough, very big, very loud, and the cards are not massively bent, and they still look wonderful. Speaking of the art as well, the art on this deck is some of my favorite from any art deck done by Jasmine Beckett Griffith, because all of the art in this deck is very high quality, and it's art that is not really repeated in her other decks, which is an issue that you do see pop up in later decks than she did. You do get some repeating artwork, but the art in this one, it's all very high quality, and it's very unique to this deck. Moving more into specifics of using the deck and the messages within the deck, this deck does have a wide range of messages, which I do really like. As an oracle deck, it functions really well to not be pigeonholed into very specific messages or only being able to be used for specific times. This is a very good all-around general messages deck. There is a card for just about everything in here. I could very easily replace a tarot deck with this oracle deck. As far as the messages go, on the bottom of each card, below the name, there is a small message to help you remember what each card is supposed to mean. I'm a sucker for that. I love when decks do that, especially oracle decks, because oracle decks have such specific meanings to each card. I love when they just go ahead and give you a little note, a little nod at the bottom so that you can remember what it's supposed to mean. Now to take a look at the book that it comes with. This is a relatively nice sized book to come with a deck. For me, I really do judge a deck by the size of the guidebook that it comes with. Personally, I think the more in-depth the guidebook it comes with, the more you can really connect with the deck and understand what the author's intent was with the deck. With this one, you do have your standard intro that comes with some basic spreads and all of that, very good for beginners. But you do also have intro, understanding the world of the deck, how it's meant to be read, and an understanding of the creatures within the deck. As you go into the card meanings, every card meaning is split up into 3 different sections. The first section is the about for the card. The about for the card tells you quite literally about the card, about the creature that you see in the card. So for the first one, it will tell you about the first card, the ghost in the pumpkin patch, why she's there and why she is looking at you the way she does. This is very good for connecting with the energy of the individual cards if you're the type of person who personifies the cards. The next section is the card speaks, and it is speaking to you directly. So if you're the type of person who needs a little bit more than just what the card is supposed to mean, you wish the cards could speak to you to tell you directly what they're trying to tell you, this book does that for you. It very directly has a section where it tells you what the card is trying to tell you. And lastly, it does break it down into a divination message. This message is long, but it's long because it's very much trying to get you to think about the bigger picture behind the message of the card and not just the short message given at the bottom of the card. I think this is really great because it gives you a lot of material to work with, to understand the cards and to work with them to their fullest extent. Like I said, with all of that information given, it's makes this a really good deck to do very in-depth readings and not have to worry about whether or not you're going to have cards in this deck that are applicable to your situation. This is one that I truly, truly could not recommend more. It's a reason it's, stood the test of time in my collection. Artwork is beautiful. The cards hold up wonderfully. They are super, super easy to shuffle. Wonderful in the hands, a great size. Truly, for me, a 10 out of 10 deck. Could not recommend it more.